Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds his girlfriend in bed with his neighbor. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. My girlfriend, 23, and I, 24, have been together for quite a while. We started off great, but 4 years into the relationship and she has all of a sudden turned turbulent. She started imposing stringent rules on me, regulating who I could or couldn't bring over to my place. That included all my girlfriends and whoever made her uncomfortable for the slightest reasons. Even to the point of saying that I shouldn't have any girlfriends at all. I knew that was a strange request, but I really liked her and tried to accommodate her insecurities. So I cut back on my interactions with most of my friends. As though that wasn't enough, she accused me of cheating on her constantly. That was the most insane reaction, especially since I was open with her most of the time. I let her know where I was and who I would be with. Besides, I was hanging with her the other half of the time. Aside from monitoring my movements, she seemed to make it her general mission in life to make my life hell at home. There was always something wrong with whatever I did. Chewed too loudly, didn't appreciate her enough, didn't do enough around the house, or whatever else she felt she could complain about. Anyway, I usually work long shifts at the hospital and don't have much say over when I leave. So one day, I texted that I would be late. She's trying to break into the influencer industry, so she dictates her hours. I didn't explain, but I figured it should be obvious that it was work-related. She texted back, "It's fine. Go on and cheat with your little nurse friend." The text was definitely unsettling, but I ignored it, thinking she was just being her usual moody self. Plus, I knew I wasn't cheating, so I didn't think hard about it. I let it go and got on with work. In the middle of my shift, my coworker stepped in and I was able to get off early. I headed straight home to catch up on some much-needed rest. I got home, let myself in, and found her in bed with our neighbor. I was absolutely dumbstruck, and in all that hullabaloo, the neighbor simply got up and tried to justify his actions, giving me lines like, "I'm only here because you don't take care of her." He said it with no remorse or guilt. It was hard to figure out which lies my cheating girlfriend had told because I had gone out of my way to accommodate all her outlandish requests. So a fight broke out because I had to defend my honor. I explained to my neighbor what I had gone through with her, and it's clear that she was not being honest with both of us. Feeling cornered, my girlfriend immediately became defensive. She said it was her word against ours, and she could always accuse the neighbor of forcing himself on her. The disbelief on his face was priceless, but that scared him, and he left. I, on the other hand, was not shaken. I called her bluff, and she gave up her mind threats. Then I called off the relationship. It's been a long time coming anyway, and told her to leave my apartment. I made it clear that I didn't want to see her ever again or hear from her. Shamelessly, she said she was going nowhere and threw in my face her baseless claims that I was also cheating on her with some of my workmates, and her actions were therefore justified. I told her that was all in her mind, and I wasn't going to stand for that disrespect. If she wanted to cheat, no worries. She could do that outside of my place. She refused. We had some back and forth over the matter. Finally, I told her I would delete her Instagram account. She had created it with my phone number. That sobered her up because she hopes to grow into a full-fledged influencer, and her account is dear to her. She could also see that I was serious about the whole thing, not bluffing like she had done. She gave in and packed up. Thankfully, she was out of my place the very next morning. It's been a week now, and I haven't heard from her. It's nice to have my peace and quiet. No one nagging at me, or ordering me around, or accusing me falsely, or most importantly, cheating on me. Update. So, my ex started posting on her Instagram about an abusive ex. She didn't tag me or anything, but it was pretty clear it was referencing me, since we had been together for a little over 4 years, and we're pretty well known as a couple around our circles. Some friends also started texting me about her posts, wondering what I was going to do about it or if I would just let her smear my name. The entire situation was increasingly becoming infuriating. To end the drama, I deleted her account. I obviously didn't give her a heads up, and the shock was evident. She started blowing up my phone over the entire issue. She had grown her platform to somewhere in the tens of thousands. She sent me hate messages and threats, demanding that I reinstate her account. I ignored most of those messages. Then, she started going through some of my friends trying to get them to convince me to give in to her demands. I figured I needed to put an end to this, so I sent her a final message letting her know that if I reinstated her account, I would publish a full story of her cheating, and I would get the neighbor to back up the story. I didn't even wait for a response. I just finally blocked her and told the rest of my friends to keep her at a distance. Now she can go through the pains of starting over. I'm glad you ended things with your ex, OP. She sounds like a handful. Not only was she projecting her cheating behavior onto you, but she was also lying about you to her neighbor. Things could have gone badly for you, especially since he believed her. So it's a good thing that she's no longer a part of your life. Someone as toxic as she is should be far away from you. She also deserves what you did to her. All she had to do was keep quiet and not talk about you or the breakup, but she still couldn't do that. She still wanted to twist the story in her favor. I hope you find a much better person to be with when you decide to date again, OP. Story 2. This is so hard to talk about, it never gets easier. Well, here it goes. I'll start with basic facts. She started distancing herself in May of this year. Fewer Snapchat, fewer texts, etc. She was going through a massive depression before all of this. Her and I do have an age gap. She's 21 and I'm around 30. I've always been a mentor in her life about many things, but we are equal in love and conversation. She just doesn't have the same maturity and experience I do. She still lives with her mother, pays rent, and I have my place. We've been together for a while. We are both poly. Yes, you can still cheat if you're poly. Our rules were to always communicate, never lie, and neither of us would involve ourselves with men. That's a deal breaker. Regardless of us being poly, that's a future outline for us. We were very much exclusive. The guy she cheated with was a coworker who recently quit, I assume due to the awkwardness. She would fight with me about me being jealous, controlling, manipulative, etc., when objectively, I am none of those things. He's just a friend, don't tell me who my friends can be sort of thing. She went to his house for a bonfire. That was the first night they slept together. The 2 weeks afterward, she broke it off with me. I was devastated. I've never cried so much in my goddamned life. I begged her, I pleaded. I did everything I could. I asked if it was him, and she lied again, saying that she was never going to do anything with him. She wasn't into him like that. She ended up sleeping with him about 4 or 5 more times, staying at his place, etc. I know all of this happened because the guy's an asshole and bragged about it to someone. I know a lot of people around here, so it got back to me. I dug and got details even I didn't want. She eventually ended it with him, ghosting him in I assume the same way she started ghosting me. She hates confrontation. And after a month and a half of questioning her decisions, she messaged me to talk, saying that leaving me was a mistake and she wanted to try things again. That's when I hit her with the I know bomb. She was silent, then denied it again, getting defensive, and I said, he bragged about it. More silence, and finally admission, followed by around 8 hours of crying and tearful apologies, etc. All of the shit before this point, I guess, is just backstory. I want her back. I know that she wants me back. I've suffered constantly since she was gone, not just because she betrayed me, broke my trust and my heart, but because she didn't have the courtesy to tell me why she was leaving me. She felt that guilt by herself for months. That tears my soul to shreds knowing that. No, what she did was not okay. It destroyed me, and I'm nowhere near the same person I was before all of this. But the worst part emotionally for me is knowing that she was feeling suicidal and depressed, and 7 layers of guilt all on her own for so long. Their fling lasted a month, once or twice a week over that month, and then she just marinated in this awful feeling for months. Sigh. Here's what I'm asking. How in the F do I get over this? I close my eyes and I see them together. I imagine her doing things with him, the sounds they made, the sounds they did make, things they said. My mind is a nightmare movie theater and I can't stop it. Knowing that he was inside her, that there are micro tears and physical after effects in her body. As pathetic as it sounds, I feel embarrassed. I don't know what his size was, if he was bigger or smaller, what she enjoyed that he did or didn't. I'm an effing wreck. I've never had issues as a lover with anyone. I'm very attentive and loving and willing to be rough or gentle depending on what my partner wants and needs. It's so hard to not blame myself for her straying. I feel disgusted, unwanted. I want to die. Even after months of knowing for certain happened recently when I was sent a text conversation screenshot by a close friend with the guy talking about effing her. I saw that on my birthday, by the way. This year has been the worst. Even touching her skin lightly now makes her flinch. She's so disgusted with herself that she isn't okay with any type of contact. I'm sorry, I honestly can't type anymore right now. Any advice or suggestions, please, I need them. I can barely sleep or eat. The only thing that even slightly makes me feel better is being near her. I'm sorry you're feeling this way, OP. Only people who have been cheated on can relate. You have two choices right now. You can either choose to continue with her and try to return to what you used to be, but I highly doubt you'd ever be able to. The chances of her leaving you again are very high, and you'll know that, so you'll never be able to fully trust her. With this one, your heart won't ache so much anymore, but it won't fully heal either, and you'll always remember, or you can choose to end things with her and cut her out of your life. This will hurt very, very much, but the good news is, with time, it wouldn't hurt so bad anymore, and you would have rid yourself of a cheating partner. Choose wisely, OP. I wish you good luck. Now for some comments. Please, OP, make the tough but sincere decision and end it amicably. You are only delaying the true pain and it takes time, but you can get better. But first, you have to move on without her to heal. You need to find someone who can be trusted and will love you and can be fully loved by you. No lies, just love, pure and simple. Get the hell out of there, buddy. It's not going to work anymore. She lied, cheated, and the trust is gone. By the sounds of it, you'll need to go and see a therapist to help you heal. Go no contact and block her on everything. It's time to heal, get yourself back on your feet and move on. When you are ready, you'll find the right person for you. I wish you all the best. I really feel for you, brother. I don't know her, so I can't put thoughts in her head. But brother, neither do you, and sadly, you never did. On the other hand, now you know more about her. You have a clearer picture of who and what she is and what she's capable of. You can at least rest easy that it was never your fault. That she was always someone else. That the mirage in your head having sex with someone else was never someone you knew. With time it will pale. With distance, the pangs of intrusive thoughts will be further apart, and the effing knot in your stomach will be less intense. Of course, if you let her stay, this new person that you just got to know and will never trust, she will be a walking, talking reminder that the person you loved never existed. Set yourself free, my brother in pain. It will take time and distance, but you will be okay and happy again. I know it.